I wore the strong badge proudly. We are raised and taught to be strong, to be independent, to be go-getters, to not need a man. Sometimes that can unintentionally come across as masculine energy. Hey lovelies, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're going to be talking about how to rest in your feminine energy. Becoming more feminine is an important part of your level up journey, and as black women, resting in our feminine energy is something that we thrive for, definitely something that we yearn for in different aspects of our lives, whether that's being more softer, whether that's dressing better, dressing more feminine, being less argumentative. Okay, so I wanted to sit down with you guys and talk about how to become more feminine as a black woman. The good news is, as women, we are all feminine regardless of where you are on your own femininity journey. So what we're doing today is just fine-tuning that, elevating and enhancing your femininity. If you're interested to find out more, then keep on watching. If you're new here, hello, my name is Lorraine and my channel is Luxe, and I focus on curvy fashion, affordable luxury, lifestyle, and also a dash of motherhood. If you love all that, I hope that you do, then subscribe to my channel and join the family. The main component for femininity for me is character, which is why I tend to have mixed feelings when I see this one size fits all videos on femininity, about dressing a certain way, about acting a certain way and looking a certain way, and the expectation that you will just automatically become this feminine queen. But if your character is not feminine, if your personality is not feminine, no matter how you dress, no matter what you look like, you will still not possess feminine energy, and it will be very difficult for you to rest in your feminine energy. So the first step in resting in your feminine energy is understanding where you are on your own femininity journey. One of the things that impacts us as black women, especially when it comes to our femininity, is our traumas, our upbringings, our surroundings, because that has an impact on who we are as women. We're programmed to be strong, we're programmed to be hardworking, and sometimes that can unintentionally come across as masculine energy. So it's important to look at your life, where you are, where you've been, what you've been through, okay, and how that's impacted who you are as a woman, how you are, your characteristics, your mannerisms, the way that you dress. As black women, we are raised and taught to be strong, to be independent, to be a go-getter, to not need a man, to be able to do it yourself. And those things are very, very important. But like I mentioned previously, that can also unintentionally come across as a masculine energy and can have an impact on our feminine energy. And that's something that I had to sit back and look at in terms of my own femininity journey. I wore the strong badge proudly, and I still do. It's definitely something to be proud of because it's helped me overcome a lot of things in my life. But that did have an impact on why I was not able to rest in my femininity energy. But once I understood where I was within my femininity journey and why I was there, it was then easier for me to understand what I had to do and what I needed to work on. A way of understanding of where you are in your feminine energy is going to therapy. I'm so happy that therapy has been spoken about and being embraced in the black community, because this is something that's been a taboo, so to speak, for quite a while. But as of late, I'm seeing a lot of people speaking about it, and going to therapy can open you up in more ways than one, because when you understand your traumas, when you understand what you've been through, it's so much easier for you to then move forward. It's so much easier for you to level up because you know what you need to work on, and that's something that will do wonders for your feminine energy as well. So when we're talking about character, we're talking about your perspective in life, how you respond or react to different situations. For example, if your reaction or your go-to is always a defense mode, that can come across as quite combative and ultimately come across as quite masculine. But at the same time, it's understandable as black women why we can be defensive, because we've had to fight for the things that we have. We've had to defend ourselves in workplaces, in social situations. We've had to be strong. So that kind of brings out a defensive nature. The same thing goes opposed to something as minuscule as facial expression. This is not to say you should now start talking and behaving like a whole different person, but it's about understanding your bad habits sometimes, which, to be frank, is not feminine. So instead of to be defensive, one good tool is called active listening, and this is listening with the intent of actually listening as opposed to listening with the intent of responding. So this removes you from always having a rebuttal or always having a comeback or always having something to say, always having a snappy response to hand. If you're listening to actually listen to what someone is saying, you're able to understand the person's perspective a bit better. You're able to see where this person is coming from. Perhaps they might not be attacking you as you might be perceiving them to be, or even if you are disagreeing, you can even have an articulate conversation because you've listened to what this person has to say, and then you're able to then say what your point is without the need of having to always defend yourself. Another way of becoming more feminine is self-care. I actually did a video on self-care for busy women. Your self-care journey is so pivotal for your femininity journey, because if you want your overall package to look good and to look more feminine, self-care plays a huge part on that. So I'm talking about your shower routine, I'm talking about your hygiene, I'm talking about your skincare routine, I'm talking about what you eat, I'm talking about your hobbies, I'm talking about what you're doing. No matter what your lifestyle is, whether you are a mom, whether you are busy at work, whether you are a student, whether you have your own business, self-care is so important in general, but especially when it comes to being more feminine. It's important to take care of your hygiene, okay? That is just number one. It's also important for you to feel good and comfortable in your own skin, and this is why I always say a good skincare routine is so important, because I don't know about you, but I spend about 80-90% of my time with no makeup. So if I didn't have good skin, I'll always feel insecure, I wouldn't feel as confident, and I wouldn't be able to rest in my feminine energy, okay? Makeup should always be an enhancement to what you already have. It shouldn't be a work of art. You shouldn't look completely different to what you look like without makeup. You should be able to feel good and confident whether you have makeup on or whether you don't have makeup on. So make sure that you're incorporating some kind of self-care routine into your life, and this will also help you to rest in your feminine energy. Another way of becoming more feminine is looking at your lifestyle, what you spend your time doing, what your hobbies are, who your friends are, what places that you go to. Surrounding yourself with more feminine women will also help you become more feminine. That's something that you're exposed to, that's something that can inspire you. And even if it's not your actual friends, people that you follow on social media, people that you watch on YouTube, I'll definitely recommend you following women that you see as being feminine or the kind of femininity that you aspire to be. I'd also recommend you guys to watch videos like this, for example. In terms of self-help, it doesn't just have to be my videos. There's so many women out there who are doing videos on femininity. It's important to be exposed to what you strive for. It's important to be inspired, and not just with people, but in also what you're doing, what are your hobbies. One of the things that I don't like doing that's considered feminine is cooking. If I could afford to have a cook, you guys, I would have an in-house cook. I think that cooking is just tedious, but cooking is one of the things that's considered the most feminine, right? But that's not the only thing that's considered feminine. So it doesn't mean that you should start doing all these things that don't resonate with you or that you genuinely don't like or don't enjoy doing just to become feminine, because that's not authentic. You need to remain authentic to who you are, and that's why it's called a journey. We're all at different stages and different places in our femininity journey. So focus on your own journey, focus on what feels true to you, focus on what feels natural and good to you. Being more feminine shouldn't be a job, it shouldn't seem like it's forced, and it's something that should come naturally to you. It's something that you should just be able to do easily, but most importantly, it's something that you should enjoy. Going on to the component that a lot of people seem to focus on when it comes to being more feminine, and that is physical appearance. And the main thing that I can say to you about this is less is more. Again, this is something that I mentioned in a plethora of my other videos, and it's definitely relevant when it comes to being more feminine. do not overdo it. And that's starting with your hair and makeup. If you're doing your eyebrows, for example, don't use really dark eyebrow pencil or dip brow. That's going to make it look like it's not your own eyebrow. Don't use a shade of foundation or concealer that is too light or too dark for you. So make sure that you're matching your foundations and your concealers properly. Do not overdo it when it comes to contouring or highlighting. Do not overdo it when it comes to eyeshadow or your lip color. I think I also mentioned this in my stop doing this, it makes you look cheap, or the things that I've stopped wearing. When it comes to your hair as well, choosing hair colors that are similar to real hair colors as possible. I think black women look amazing and blonde, and this is something that I always used to be scared to try, but I've actually had people who said that they prefer with blonde hair. So it's okay to experiment with color, but at the same time it's important to stick to the natural hair colors like black, brown, blonde, that kind of urban color as well. The same thing goes to your outfit. Not overdoing it, understanding your personal style, understanding what looks good for your body, dressing in things that are more flattering to you. If you want to see more styling ideas of how to style clothes more feminine, I've got quite a few styling videos, so definitely check that out. There are so many ways of how to become more feminine, but those are the ones that I think are very important and pivotal when starting your own feminine journey. Let me know what you guys think of the tips that I gave. Where are you on your feminine journey? What tips do you have to share when it comes to becoming more feminine? If you have enjoyed this video, then do not forget to give me a thumbs up, as it really helps me out. And if you come all this way, thank you so much, but do not click off from this video without subscribing to my channel and clicking that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye lovelies.